Hey guys, so in the last video I did my very first commentary. It was a lot of fun, but I've heard your feedback about the echo issue and some other general audio issues that you guys had. Now the thing about it is that the echo issue was definitely prevalent and definitely annoying, so I understand all the criticism it got. However, since I've made a makeshift echo reduction system with a blanket and a shoebox, now I know it's a little bit ghetto, but it's so far doing the job. I've also ordered a pop filter that's on the way, but for now, hopefully this audio sounds a lot better. The only thing I wanted to say is that the video you're about to watch was before this new setup, so there is still some echo, but I tried my very hardest to edit it out. Honestly, I just wanted to show you guys that I am reading the comments and I'm ready to take feedback and apply it to videos instantly. Anyways, without wasting any more time, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the feedback. It really means a lot, and enjoy the rest of the video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to take a blast from the past and go to the really good old times of Runescape and hopefully catch some nostalgic feelings along the way. More specifically, today we're looking back into some of the oldest times of Runescape and one of the most iconic and adventure-filled challenges, the Dragon Slayer quest. This was the premier free-to-play endgame quest. It was the main goal that all Runescape players aspired to. It was common to spend months on end just preparing and leveling with the goal of finishing the Dragon Slayer quest. Not to mention that the game back then was super inefficient. This meant it took even longer to work towards any type of goal the player had in mind. The Dragon Slayer itself was also the first hugely epic and major goal for any player to complete in the game. This gave players incentive and purpose to grind. Motive paired with longer grind times meant that players really had to put in the time and effort to get to the end and achieve the great rewards that lied ahead for them. It's normal for higher tier endgame content in any MMO to become super iconic. This is because of the mass amount of time each player must put into their character and the game as a whole. Any RuneScape player, or even any MMO player in general, usually falls in love with the genre because of this style of grind. They're usually unique, satisfying, and super damn awesome. With tons of things to complete and lots of variables to consider, it means you really have to think ahead, prepare to grind, and prepare to spend thousands of hours. I mean, planning and earning your armor, weapons, tools, levels, and more gives us an amazing feeling of accomplishment and anticipation. Not to mention that the community MMOs create are just amazing. You're not on your own, you're doing this grind with some other people around you, and everyone has this common goal in mind. Not only can you share your adventure, but play them with thousands of others who share different goals and different experiences. Within the community and game world of an MMO, we are given a status that other players see as an accomplishment. This makes the journey feel all that more close and special to us. In the case of the Dragon Slayer quest itself, we're talking about hours upon hours of grind and playtime, in hopes to just beat what's considered until now the most difficult quest for free-to-play players. Upon release, it gave players something to achieve, gave the grind a purpose and a challenge in which didn't disappoint, as the rewards for completing such a grand quest always paid off. Once players finally completed the Dragon Slayer, they would gain the ability to equip Runeplate Body, as well as the Green Dragonhide Body and any of their variants. The free-to-play scene back in the day was hugely popular, much more than it is today. Many players didn't actually have access to membership, so the free-to-play player count was a lot higher in general. Even for people who did become members, they would more than often stay free-to-play members until they completed the Dragon Slayer quest. This was an indication that really showed how truly iconic the quest and journey was. I mean, people wouldn't even upgrade to a membership until they completed the quest. It was really the end game. It was really the thing you had to get to before they felt like they had the right to keep going forward. The community popularity and the challenge of the quest led to a lot of hype around the Runeplate body armor. It was always awesome seeing a free-to-play player wearing Runeplate bodies, especially fully trimmed, or the God Rune set alongside them. It was the coolest thing and was a sign of a total badass player, a real accomplishment, and that's really the beauty of MMOs. It's what pushed the players to achieve the same thing around them. Everyone wanted that status, everyone wanted that same goal, but everyone had their own adventure. They wanted the amazing status, and the journey to get there was very well designed and beautifully rewarding. The Dragon Slayer quest was the first truly memorable quest that players completed. Being so difficult and so long, it had requirements that had you really grind for. I mean, the base requirements total up to 14 different things. However, that's just the base requirements. If you truly wanted to be prepared, you'd have to probably have around 17 things ready, including money, various items, stats, and much more. The feeling of running around and preparing for so many things before even entering the quest itself is really what gave this sense of amazing adventure. A sense of accomplishment. I mean, going back and forth, leveling up this stat, and then getting this money, and then getting these items, all before even entering the quest is really what makes it all feel immersive and real. The quest had a goal, challenge, and purpose, all before the player even begun the actual thing. This truly made it something special and an amazing masterpiece. Not to mention that the quest had really cool exclusive quest-only areas and had a huge build-up to complete for an eventual reward. The rewards, of course, were crazy and made the amazing and long adventure worth it. I mean, you have to imagine it and really put it into perspective to understand how long people had to play to achieve and complete the quest, taking weeks or even months for players to even meet the requirements, let alone complete the quest itself. This epic quest had an amazing battle at the end, which often took you multiple tries and plenty of deaths to even eventually pull off. The amazing reward and adventure to get there created one of the most amazing gameplay cycles I and many others have ever experienced. The feeling of graduating from no longer being a total noob to now being a pro in the game of Runescape held an amazing value and feeling of accomplishment. It's the sheer gameplay and time that we had to go through to get to that point that made it so special. It's truly an amazing and iconic moment for most of us. I just remember back in the day I spent a month simply just preparing. I grinded for items and money, hoping to be ready to face Alvarj. I remember how terrified of the concept I was in general, frantically trying to over-prepare and be ready for the fight itself. The process itself was a thrill, and it holds a lot of great feelings and memories in of itself. When I finally got to face Alvarj, I barely managed to come out alive. I only had 1 to 2 pieces of food left in my inventory. This made it one of the most intense fights I've ever had in a video game in general. It was truly an epic journey that is now held as a true moment of nostalgia for not only me but many of us. Lots of players share my experience, yet everyone had their own adventure, and that makes it really special. It's really what made Dragon Slayer so memorable. This individual adventure and goal that everyone shared but each person experienced on their own is honestly something special. RuneScape as a game also had an iconic place for all things dragon themed in the game, mainly because of the dragon items being the exclusive, coveted, and super cool armor pieces to obtain. The Dragon Slayer is the main dragon themed event available to the free-to-play players. Nothing else really connects the theme for free-to-play players over to paid members except for this quest. As we mentioned before, this is actually the main reason that every player who had dragon items as their end goal would almost always complete this quest before becoming paid members and continuing on with their adventure. The Dragon Slayer quest is really something special. The intuitive design and the amazing atmosphere that it really brought with you adventuring out to level up and find money and prepare, and it really took weeks and weeks. I mean, if I haven't expressed it enough, you have to keep in mind RuneScape back then was really different. It was a lot more grindy and it was a lot harder to actually do anything you wanted to. I mean basically anything you did. If you wanted to grind for level or money or items, it just took a lot more time back then. This means that doing the same quest now is a lot easier than it was before because of the sheer amount of time that was cut out and the quality of life improvements that were made. Now this is not to say that these changes are actually bad, because it's quite the opposite. They're good. It makes it a lot more adaptive and a lot easier to play and get to what you want to do, and probably a little bit less boring because of the less grind time. However, there will always be that satisfying feeling of that hardcore grind back in the day, and those hours that you spent pouring your time into this game and your character. It's definitely just something amazing, and this quest really put it all together. I guess we can say that the Dragon Slayer quest was the puzzle piece that really put the picture together. RuneScape was already set up in an amazing way, and people were already pouring hours upon hours upon hours of leveling up. This quest simply put incentive to all those hours that players were already enjoying. It just made everything better, it just enhanced RuneScape, and it's amazing to think just one quest can really enhance all the gameplay because it gave us a reason to grind, a reason to prepare, and a reason for that adventure. All in all, the quest itself is also just downright super cool. It had a really interesting story, an epic journey, and became an amazing piece of content to play through. It had everything going for it at the time, and the community hype really excelled everything perfectly. It had all the pieces right, creating a quest and adventure all of us as players will continue to remember for time to come. Anyways, that's about all we have for today. Let us know what type of experiences you had with the Dragon Slayer quest in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, then hit that like button and remember to subscribe for more in the future, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.